Hello! I'm happy that you all chose to join on this session. I think to get started, I do want to share some slides. So, meditation in daily life is our theme. The subtitle is, "It's what happens when you get up that counts." And what I mean by that is when we get off of our meditation cushion or when we even get off of our yoga mat. So this is part of a 6-part series, as I was saying. The first one, I just want to review this so we kind of see what leads up to this. I just want to give you a background of where we've come from. So the very first session, we talked about the purpose of meditation. Why do we meditate? Where do I even begin? The second session was different ways to meditate, because we're all different people. So some of us might be a little more inclined to different ways of doing this because we all got different beats. And so here's a brief overview for today to get ourselves prepared. So I'll actually offer a brief overview, very brief, of the ancient practice of meditation, its origins and how it's developed. I'll talk about what meditation was and is today as a practice for human evolution, the value and purpose of an ethical foundation in everyday life. And definitely, the purpose of today is to be able to build tools for life. And I just summed it up in like 2 basic things: to become the person you wish to be and the friend to others you wish to share. And then the other one, consciously move with life towards the inevitable journey of ultimate peace. So to remind us that every action is intended to lead us more and more to understand our own true self. And as Swami Satchidananda and many of these teachings share, the true self, the true nature is peace. And the path of yoga includes meditation. So sometimes we forget that. And in fact, that's the whole journey of yoga, is to lead us towards a meditative practice of literally sitting in meditation and allowing ourselves to feel this sense of equanimity. And it's even said that the penultimate experience of yoga is you almost look like a lifeless body because you've merged with the divine. It's not like you're the most powerful, the most wealthy, and no, the penultimate yogi is the one who is just a complete, bliss. That may not sound that interesting, but there's also what's called the householder path. So somewhere along the journey of yoga, it was recognized that these ancient teachings of these people who were renunciates and ascetics, walking with loincloths or nothing at all, that was one direction. I also want to give credit to integral yoga as to where a lot of my teaching and learning comes from. And these, of course, are all the teachings of Swami Satchidananda. So a lot of what I have learned to talk about comes from that, and but as well as my own practice and my own research. So the first one is known as ahimsa, and this means no harm. And that one is the overarching precept out of all 10 of them. So what can we do in our life where we're doing no harm? But they can be these little bells of light or wisdom. So even the one about, I shouldn't have any gain even when I'm studying and trying to learn, or why would I want to get a diploma, or why would I want to get this next promotion? It's our intention around it. Is it for the sake of our own gain, or can we then be of service for others? Is there some reason we're doing it that actually is cultivating that serviceful self versus it's just for me, selfish self? Very difficult. I want to read this paragraph that I really love that was written here around through its integral yoga to also help us understand. There's another important reason why an ethical foundation is important. When you succeed in going deeper and awaken the subtle spiritual force within, whatever is in the mind will be magnified. If the mind has been purified first, you will be a beautiful instrument in God's service, or whatever God means to you, higher power, Mother Nature, etc. However, if the mind is still filled with harmful, selfish, or negative thoughts, those too will be magnified. Not only will you have the capacity to cause more harm to others, but the karma will ultimately return to you as well. You could become, in effect, your own worst enemy. I'll say this too. This is also one last paragraph that's written here. Purity of heart is not the same as one-pointedness in mind. Even evil-minded people can concentrate and attain great powers, but such powers won't be helpful if your mind is not clean. So refine your body and mind and let the power awaken naturally at the proper time. Then you will be a beautiful instrument in the hands of the divine. So the 4 locks and the 4 keys, again, it comes from one of the sutras in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali that guides us along to maintain our peace. So the key for meeting the happy person is kindness. Now that sort of seems obvious, but think of the times when you've met somebody who's happy and it makes you angry. Well, why do they get to be happy? They never did any of the work that I'm doing. How come they got the raise? How come they get to feel like the world's our oyster? Well, we're gonna stay bound. But yeah, and this is sort of bringing it around to my last topic, which is how do we bring this that mindfulness into all areas of our life? So we recognize our action will have a reaction. Our action will ripple something out into the world. And then that ripple eventually actually comes even back to us. And that leads me to some of the final part that I want to offer as we're getting kind of near the end here. Some different ways that we can look at this showing up in our life. And it's in these 6 branches of yoga. And I'm just, for this little bit of time we have left, as you read each of these, I'd love for you to each think about which one is the most, sort of feels most readily relatable for you with where you are in your life, that you can think of as a spiritual practice. Jai, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for participating. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.